Hello, in this video I want to show you how you can install a Python environment and install all the packages, which then allows you to run AIDeveloper. Furthermore, I want to show you how you can use PyInstaller to then package all together to a standalone executable, which then runs on any Mac, at least on any Mac that is at the version of your macOS or higher. Okay. AIDeveloper actually depends on quite a number of packages such as NumPy, Keras, Pandas, TensorFlow, Pillow, PyQt5 and PyQt5, as well as OpenCV and Image.io. You can see here that I always want to install a particular version, and this is required since many versions don't work together, especially when you then want to freeze it to a standalone executable using PyInstaller. If you are starting with a fresh system which has never been used for Python programming, you first want to open your terminal and install Homebrew, to then install also pip using this command and pyenv. I have already done this, so I don't want to do it again. Normally, if you have pyenv installed, you would then say pyenv install Python and the version you want. But this will not work considering that we want to freeze our apps to a standalone executable because we will need shared libraries. Therefore, please first execute these commands in your terminal to then install Python of version 3.5.9 with shared libraries using this command. So you just copy and paste to your terminal and it will install Python of version 3.5.9 for you. To validate, you can go to your home directory, and in case you don't see the hidden folders, you press Command Shift dot, and then you will see the hidden folders, and there is one folder called pyenv, and within this folder you certainly have less folders than me because I already used it, but you will have this folder 3.5.9. And now we want to install an environment within this version of Python. To do this, we copy this command. We say pyenv virtualenv 3.5.9 myenv2. So myenv2 is now the name of my new virtual environment. And we just saw that something happened here. So now we have this myenv2, which we now can activate by saying pyenv local myenv2. Okay, now we can see that we are within this environment. We can also ask pyenv which versions are already there. So we can see, okay, we got this 3.5.9 Python environment, and I installed already this environment, and now I want to start fresh with this empty environment, myenv2, and I can validate that this environment is empty by typing pip list, and I can see all the installed packages. So we have pip and we have setup tools, and it tells me that my pip version is old and actually also the setup tools version is old. So first of all, I will update both using these commands. Great. So now let's just paste all those. Okay, we already installed now all those packages which are highlighted here. Next, I want to install all those packages. Okay, so next I would like to install PyInstaller, and typically you can then use the pip install from the website, from the GitHub PyInstaller website to install the development version. But this didn't work for me the last time, but this particular version worked. So either you use this command if the directory still exists, or in order to make it reproducible, I downloaded this as a zip file, and you can obtain it from here, from my GitHub. And there you have it. This is the zip folder, and if you download this folder to your machine, you will have the folder right here. And all you have to do is right-click on this folder, start a new terminal at this folder, and then say pip install. And we have to type the name of this zip file, copy, paste, and enter. And it's successfully installed, PyInstaller. This is nice. So we're done here. We can actually also close this and check whether the PyInstaller is also visible here. So there you go. PyInstaller is in our virtual environment. So next we need to install Ffmpeg, libopencv, image.io, and so on. Let's go. I actually saw quite some errors, so I want to validate whether Ffmpeg was actually installed. So image.io was installed, that's good. libopencv is installed. Ffmpeg is still missing. Okay, then try it again. Okay, so it wants to install this particular version. Okay, at this point we already have an environment which has all the dependencies for AIDeveloper. So now in this folder that you downloaded from GitHub, you also have this AIDeveloper files folder, and if you double click it, it will unzip it. And in here you have all the required files. So now you right click this one, start a new terminal right here, and you say Python AIDeveloper 0.0.6.py. Okay, there you go. Now we want to freeze this Python script to an executable using PyInstaller. Okay, so inside this folder, you can also see this spec file, which is a file I created in order to tell PyInstaller what to do. So first of all, it needs to know which Python file we are interested in packaging. Then we need some hidden imports, and we actually want to exclude the modelsu.py script because I want to allow people to modify this modelsu to add neural nets or to modify existing neural nets. We also implement this icon here. This file is located here. And lastly, we need to tell PyInstaller to bundle this executable to an app. We actually only need to call this spec file using this command here. We only need to make sure that we are sitting in the right folder. So as you can see here, we are in this AIDeveloper 0.0.6_files folder, which is this folder here containing all the required files, including the spec file. So I just say PyInstaller AIDeveloper 0.0.6_keep spec, and I hit enter. Okay, PyInstaller is done, and we can see that we now have here another folder called build, which is not so interesting for us, but this dist folder is very interesting for us because in there we have the AIDeveloper.app. This one you could actually double click and execute, but it will fail because I was lazy and did not include some files that are required, like this RTDC file and some layout files. Simply copy everything, then you right click here, you say show package contents, macOS, and you paste it in here. If you now double click your executable, you will still see an error because ONNX was not packaged correctly. And I found that it's enough to go into your environment and copy the ONNX folders into the macOS folder. And there you find the ONNX packages. You copy them and you go back to the folder where we just created the AIDeveloper app, show package contents, paste those in here, and we actually want to merge. Now all required files are inside this package and we can double click it. And there you go. This file here, you could actually send to your colleague or friend. But you know, typically when you download an app for Mac, you get this DMG file. And now we want to create this DMG file by searching for disk utility. There you go. We want to have a new disk image, which we call AIDeveloper. And this will require like 800 megabytes, or just make it a gigabyte. It will create those two files for you. Now you double click on this file, you right click into it, hit show view options, and we want to include a picture, which I already created. And now we just include our app. Now we can close this window, and now you go to computer, go to Macintosh and your application folder, and then you say make alias, and it will throw an alias folder onto your desktop, which looks like this, and you just paste it into here. You maybe want to increase the size of those icons. Now you have to unmount this image to then go again to your disk utility and then convert and choose this installer.dmg, convert, which will create this folder here. We can now delete this one. And if we double click this one, it will open it. And now people can just drag and drop the application into their application folder. And if you do that, you then see AIDeveloper in your applications. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. You will find all the files required on my GitHub under tutorial 3 PyInstaller on Mac. You have here all the files, the ONNX files, and also the PyInstaller version that I have used. Bye bye.